Hey guys, I'm just back real quick because I found this really interesting article on HuffPost, and I know, HuffPost isn't a thing for everybody, but this is far from political. It's I thought it was really interesting in keeping with what a lot of Mandela effect people discuss, but at the same time, it's just interesting in general. I mean, I'm not saying that this is a Mandela effect, but it still is really interesting how this bird in this story came about. So, and it's also just interesting scientifically, so I just wanted to share it with you. And plus the bird is really cute. I love birds. It's like, yeah, birds, yo, they're like little dinosaurs walking around. Anyway, I'm just gonna read this article to you really quick. So, well, read it in a very soothing voice, as they say. So everyone might be obsessed with the mandarin duck in New York these days, but there's another bird worth your attention. A striking yellow, black, and white bird spotted in Pennsylvania is actually a hybrid between 3 different species, which is already weird in and of itself. I mean, and the fact that it's like species as well. So, according to a news release from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, which we know they're legit, if nothing else. So, it says, extremely observant birdwatcher Lowell Burkett saw a male bird in the burrow of Roaring Spring in May. He noticed that the bird had physical attributes of the blue-winged warbler and the golden-winged warbler, but sang like a third species, the chestnut-sided warbler. The bird piqued his interest enough that after taking photos and video, he contacted the Fuller Evolutionary Biology Lab at Cornell. I tried to make the email sound somewhat intellectual so they wouldn't think I was a crackpot, he said in the release. Luckily, the lab did not think that Burkett was a crackpot, and researcher David Toes soon got in touch with him. Together they found the bird again and took a blood sample and measurements for ID purposes. As it turned out, Burkett's suspicion was right. DNA analysis showed that the bird's mother was a hybrid between a golden-winged warbler and a blue-winged warbler, while the father was a chestnut-sided warbler. The results of the analysis were published this week in the Science Journal Biology Letters. And you can see the family tree right there. Blue-winged warbler, golden-winged warbler, Brewster's warbler, chestnut-sided warbler. And you can see right here, the blue-winged warbler looks like this, although I guess there are variations on a theme here, because they all look a little bit different. But that's what the blue-winged warbler looks like. A little counterintuitive. Of course, there's the blue wings right there, and the golden-winged warbler. So I guess his coat or his body is more grayish-bluish, but then he has the yellow wings. And the blue-winged warbler has the more blue wings, but with the yellowish, more grayish body. Interesting. And then that's the chestnut-sided warbler, and that's what the bird sings like. So he's really cute. really cute. I think birds are so cute. I'm going to repeat this story again, too, because it bears repeating. So there was this bird. I used to work at Universal Studios, and one day I was eating my breakfast, and somebody, there's just crap all over the ground at Universal Studios, like just churros and cupcakes and all this kind of crap. So this bird, was just eating whatever he could, and he was this chubby little bird. He was so cute, and he was hopping, and he could barely hop, but he would eat like a cupcake off the ground, and so he would chew it a little bit. And then with the teeth he doesn't have, because birds don't have teeth. And then there was all this cake all over the side of his beak, and he would have to shook, like sharpening a knife on the side of the sidewalk. It was like cobblestones actually, so it had a little bit of it wasn't a totally flat surface, which was good. He had a beveled edge on which to clean off his beak, but he would go shook on either side of the sidewalk to clean off his beak. It was so adorable. And I called him Cake Beak. That was the name of the bird, Cake Beak. But anyway, those are the pictures of the birds. And then it just says, it concludes by saying the paper notes that the mix is especially significant because the bird's mother and father weren't just different species, but also different genera. Golden and blue-winged warblers are both part of the vermivora genus. I think that's right. Vermivora genus, while chestnut-sided warblers are part of the Setophaga genus. Setophaga. I think it's Setophaga. That sounds right. Like bacteriophage, Setophaga. Not to compare birds to bacteria, but anyway. But they do both start with the letter B. Researchers suspect this three-way hybridization ultimately happened in part because of declining numbers in the local population of golden-winged warblers, leaving females with fewer potential mates. In response, they may be making the best of a bad situation by selecting mates outside their own species genus, researchers wrote. So it's interesting. And there he is. He's so cute. He looks even cuter than the original bird. I love when they have the dark eyes. He has like dark eyes. His eyes and his beak are like exactly the same color. Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay. As for the rare new hybrid, he's hopefully enjoying some warmer weather at the moment. The bird was released with a United States Geological Survey aluminum band and was seen on the property until about late August, after which it wasn't seen again, Toes told HuffPost email. Presumably it migrated south for the winter, and we hope he did, and we hope he is very, very warm and with a loving family of other birds. In any case, guys, I just thought this was interesting. Probably not a Mandela effect, but just an interesting new thing that maybe nature can do. And that's really interesting too. All right, that's about all. Peace out.